Let's start off today just with some gratitude towards social media. If you're building a business online and you've been leveraging Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, any of the different platforms, technically Pinterest and YouTube are not social platforms, but I'm just going to lump them in there together because these are spaces that the companies who've created them have offered us a way to come in and bring our stuff, our goodies to that we're offering people, our services that maybe we're trying to help people out with, and we can come in and we can essentially build a website on these free platforms, letting people know we're open for business. So hello, I am Michelle Keneally, and you're on the page Juggling Life All Day. Now, what we're going to be talking about here in this space is why building a blogging business is really important, especially if you're building a business using social media. Now, you've been able to create some connections with people. You've been able to maybe make some money. Maybe you've been struggling just a little bit. I'm going to be sharing with you my personal journey of how I'm building a blog, leveraging social media to build a blogging business. And the reason I'm doing that is because a blog is something that I own. And that's something that you're going to want to look into for yourself, because if these social platforms went away ever, and they do go away. It doesn't seem like it at the time when they're big and they're really going, but if you did lose your audience using one of these social platforms, your entire business would go away. The contacts that you've made on these sites would just disappear. And I know you've put a lot of time into creating your perfect profile picture and to getting that right filter to make your stories look just right, or the banner on your page to let people know why they would want to follow you. So building a blog is very similar to being able to build your social profiles and build your pages, because if you have figured out how to attract people and to let people know what type of business that you have using these social sites, you could figure out how to build a blog as well. And if you did, you would be able to monetize that, which means make money, way faster. And the reason for that is when you purchase your blog, which is super inexpensive, by the way, you own that space. No one can take it away from you. It is yours. You are not waiting for someone to give you permission for what you can post. You will not have your posts taken down. You will not be flagged for any reason. And now you're entering into the world of the Google, okay? What do we do when we're looking for information or we need help with something? We probably don't go to Facebook. We probably don't go to Instagram and go into the search bar to search for how to do something or where to get the best fill in the blank, or we probably don't look for someone who is just like us, who's been through a journey that we've been through. Most likely on social media, we stumble across different people that we find. The algorithms determine whether or not we see something on these social platforms based on what we interact with, okay? So when you step in and create your blog, you are now open to the world who searches on Google. I know there's a ton of people on Facebook and they're all posting and they're all sharing and they're all connecting with one another. And you definitely want to be doing that. Facebook is my number one, okay? My number one social site. It's just what makes sense for me. I like to talk with people. I think Instagram makes sense for different types of businesses. The type of business that I have, Facebook makes the most sense, okay? Twitter makes sense for some people. LinkedIn works, makes sense for some people. If you try to combine all of the different social media sites, you might find that you're speaking a different language in each one. I kind of like to think of them as like little countries, and each one has its own culture, each one has its own language, and each one has its own purpose. And if you have been on all of them and you have figured out how to adapt and to embrace that when in Rome culture, you can blog. So I know you're serious about your business because you're watching this video right now. And what we're going to be talking about here in this particular video series, is how to build a blog leveraging social media. And you're going to see my journey, my personal journey of me showing you how I'm building my very own blog and how I'm leveraging the different social media sites. I'm going to show you ways that you can monetize using a blog and leveraging social media to attract people to even look at your blog, because you definitely want to do that. So if you've been asking yourself, I hear blogging is something I should probably do, but you find yourself fearing it a little bit, I want to encourage you just to look around your profile, look around your business page, and just see, did you set up a profile? Did you post something? Did you create a banner image? Have you invited people to look at your business? Have you written something that's helpful? Have you connected with other people and brought together a group of people that all are working or talking about a similar topic? If you found yourself doing anything like that, you have begun essentially to build your own brand, and you've created a blog-like community using these platforms that are free. And you should keep doing that, by the way. But what I have found is that through having a blog, you actually define your message even more and become more confident. And then when you're on the social sites, you have a stronger voice about what it is that you offer, and you can own that. You can say, well, I'm so-and-so and I do this. This is what I do, okay? And for me, that voice is transforming into, I'm Michelle Keneally and I teach moms how to blog. And that's what this whole video series is about, okay? I'm filming this right now in December of 2019, and this is going to continue through 2020. I'm going to show you a one-year journey of what that looks like to build a blogging business from zero all the way up, okay? So I hope that you are excited about that and that you want to be a part of this journey, especially if you've been asking yourself, could I start a blog and could I make money doing it? Now, today's video, we're going to talk about what should you blog about, okay? Yesterday, we talked a little bit about what your motivation might be behind building a blog, okay? So you have to really ask yourself that question. Well, if I start a blog, why would I do it? So once you define why you would build a blog, what your motivation would be, that's going to be something that you can hold on to and maybe create a vision board around, so that when you get to those days where you're questioning, why did I start this in the first place? And you can go back and look at that. So even if you are building a business using social media, I really hope that you've crafted a vision around why you're doing what you're doing. We all have to have some sort of a purpose. It's human nature. We need to define what our purpose is. And if we want people to follow us, we need to have a clearly defined purpose, because they would have no reason to follow us if we don't even know why they would follow us. So I've created a free workshop on how you can actually create your very own blog as well. You can find that in the sign up button, and take the course for free. Figure it out. Decide if this is something that's for you. And this series, if you follow this series, could be that motivator that helps you to get to that next level, because you can watch my personal journey and the things that I'm going to be doing and things I've learned to do, the mistakes I've made on a previous blog, um, and why those were mistakes in the first place. And we can do it together if you want. So you can go ahead and you can find the sign up button on my page. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find that in the description, because I'm going to actually create, and for those of you that are following this, I'm going to leverage these recordings that I'm making, not only for myself to see the progress I've made years later, but for other people to get motivated, to find the help that they need, the inspiration that will keep them moving forward. And it's an opportunity that you can't afford necessarily a course. This is a really good way to learn from someone else who's doing it, who has purchased courses, okay? And it's a great way to build a friend, and a community. So go ahead, and if you're thinking about starting a blog, the workshop I've created is intended to help you discover what you should blog about and how to get started. It actually has some technical tutorials too, which is crazy because my first language is not technology, but I figured if I knew how to leverage Facebook tools, I can learn how to blog. I just had to get over myself, get past my mindset, and do it. So I hope that you join me and hope that we can talk about this throughout this journey. And I am pre-recording these videos because I get up super early in the morning before my family wakes up, and I can use the tools that are on Facebook and YouTube to make these videos searchable, make them show up for people who need this type of help, okay? And the only reason I'm explaining that in this video is because I just really want you to get the behind the scenes look at all of this. I'm going to be real and raw with you, super authentic. I'm fighting a cold at the moment. Tea! Anyways, today's video, we are going to, talk about what could you possibly blog about? Well, I don't know what you're talking about now on social media, but hopefully you're combining something that you know about, something you're really interested in, and you're serving a need for those people who are watching you that they have. You're answering some questions that they might need help with. You're thinking of who's following you, and you're coming up with content that is helping them, okay? If you have not made a sale using social media yet, and you cannot figure out why, I think I just answered your question. People will follow you if you help them with something. Maybe it's something they want to learn. Maybe it's guidance for how to get through a difficult time. Maybe it's something that makes people laugh and makes them feel good. You serve a need that they need to escape from reality and their day-to-day lives. Maybe you teach them how to make really good meals for their family, or how to budget, or maybe, I don't know what you do on social media or how you connect with people, but if you take something that this is what you want to do. Let me set my tea down. What you want to do is take something that even if you know just a little bit about it. You don't have to be an expert in it. You really just need to be one step ahead of the person behind you that wants to know what you're doing. Similar to me, I've been, blogging and learning about blogging for the last year. And I'm coming to you, sharing with you what I've learned, what my plans are, and how I'm going to map that out. So if you're watching this, you're probably one step behind me. And I'm going to show you how to get started, how to map out your own blogging plan by showing you mine. Okay? So if you take something that even if it's just a little bit, okay, and something you're interested in, something that you talk about all of the time, that you love reading about it, you love thinking about it, it's just part of who you are, maybe even something that's common sense that you think that, nobody would really care about hearing because it just seems common sense to you, but you just love talking about it anyways. And then something that people actually need help with. If you take those three things and you put them together, that becomes what's known as a niche. I explain this more in detail in my workshop, so you can definitely sign up for that to get more help with that. However, if you are doing something like that on social media, people will have a reason to follow you. They will search for you because you talk about these certain things and you serve a need for them. If you are not doing something like that now, that's probably why you don't have anyone following you. You have to give people a reason. You have to cut through the noise. You have to get past all of the other people that are trying to get people's attention and stand out with what you talk about. That doesn't mean you have to be flashy or fancy or perfect or anything like that. You simply need to be yourself, be authentic, take what you know, and be willing to share it, okay? And word of mouth happens pretty quickly. Even if you're like me, where you have your children's art supplies in the background, or you might even see me sometimes with various stages of me folding the laundry, it doesn't matter. People don't care about what your camera looks like, or what your clothes look like, or that you just got out of the shower and you sort of let your hair partially dry before you do a video. Just saying. They don't care. They care about what you're talking about, okay? And as you get in touch with what that is, you can become way more confident and feel the sense of purpose that drives you forward, okay? So what I want you to do today is I want you to start to write down some of those things that you know about yourself, that you talk about, that you like, your interests. Do you read a bunch of books? What do you read the books on? What do you find yourself searching for all the time? What are you really good at? What do you feel like people come to you for and ask you questions about? Or what do you have a really big interest in that you might be willing to learn more about? Like, say, blogging. Maybe you are becoming a new mom and you're really interested in learning about all these things about becoming a new mom. And maybe you can't stop talking about it, so you need someone to talk to about it. You could blog about that, to be honest. I mean, you could create a community of new moms who are all trying to figure out which is the best car seat and what diapers should you buy. And I mean, even if there's someone out there already blogging about that topic, it doesn't matter. What it means is that there is a community, a market, a group of people that want to know about that. So if you see that there are already people talking about what you think you might talk about, tell yourself this. If people are already blogging about a certain topic, or they're already talking about a certain topic, that means there are people who want to know about that topic. If there are books written on your topic, that means there are people who want to know about that topic. That means you have a market. And that means you have an opportunity to connect with people who might be just like you, okay? Because we don't relate to everyone. We don't connect with everyone. And we're going to get more into that as we go throughout this week, because this whole week is going to be about how to decide what to blog about. So today, your task is to just write out all those things that you're good at, that you like talking about, that people come to you for, that you have a deep interest in, or that you think you could help people with, even if it seems silly. Don't question any of those ideas. Don't question any of them. Write them all down, because this list you could come back to, and even though you might think it's really silly, it could be the thing that you end up creating a profitable blog around. So everything you can think of, let your brain free flow, write out those topics. Don't question yourself at all, okay? If you find yourself questioning yourself, stop the activity, come back later when you're not being so negative, and do it again, okay? So far, what you should be writing down is, what is your motivation behind creating a blog, and What are you good at? Like, what do you see you could do? What could you fulfill? Okay. This video is going to be pretty short, but the workshop goes a lot more in depth. So definitely find the sign up button for that and get into that. I would love to have a blogging buddy on this journey with me so that we can do this together. So definitely share with me what you've come up with, and I'll see you on the next video.